Former union representative, 55-year-old Jon Joughin was until recently a Douglas councillor. First of all, why are you standing as an MHK?
I think it's really a natural progression of my former job, really. You know, politics has always been a passion of mine, and I've always enjoyed it, but I haven't been able to do it until the later stage of my life. So I was too busy bringing up a family and running a business, but it's always something I've always been very, very passionate about, and now I'm lucky enough to pursue my passion.
Now, obviously, you had to leave the council earlier this year, didn't you, because you weren't on the voters list?
Yes.
Would you have stood for Douglas East if that hadn't happened?
Yes, I would have done, yes. It was always my intention to stand eventually, but I've realised that I needed some education, I needed some training, and the Douglas Borough Council is a very good training ground. I mean, the former MHK for this area, she was a Douglas Borough Councillor. I mean, it is a good apprenticeship, really. It is a very good apprenticeship.
So you think it's important to have that grounding in local politics?
I think it's important that you know about procedure and standing orders and how to stand and address people. I think it's very important. I think just to go in ad hoc and just be thrown in, especially to a big arena like the Keys and Tynwald, I think it would be quite daunting even for the most competent of people. I think it would be a very short time where you'd be a little bit uneasy, but you need to hit the ground running, I think. Okay,
so what qualifies you for the job? Why are you the best candidate for this job?
It's basically it's all about representing your constituents. It's very much like being on the union, to be quite honest with you, because unions aren't all about pay deals and strikes and stuff. You're representing people, and it's their individual needs. It's their fitness, their health, their personal problems, and that is exactly what an MHK does, or a town councillor does. They address people's needs on a one-to-one basis, and that's what you need to be. You need to be unbiased and passionate about looking after these people.
And what are your constituents' concerns?
I think the major concern going round the doors and knocking on them is the basic mistrust of politicians.
And how do you think that's arisen then?
I think the government have been through a very, very hard time this past 5 years, rebalancing their books. And the knock-on effect of that has gone through to the public, and especially the lower end of the scale of the public, they've had huge increases. And I think they blame the politicians for that. I don't think it's been communicated properly to them, the severity of these cuts, you know.
Are you talking about things like what we've been calling the stealth taxes, the toilet tax, for example?
Taxes, the stuff like that. You know, people on low incomes, I mean, these toilet taxes, these local government board rent increases, they've had a colossal effect on them. Some of them have gone up by almost a third their rent. I mean, that is a huge amount of rent. I mean, it's been done and it's been painful, but I think they do bear resentment against it.
So how do you tackle that then? How do you tackle that mistrust, as you call it?
I think we have to get back to talking to our constituents and being much more involved with them, being more direct with them. We don't need any more of these polls that tell you what we already know. We need to go and listen to them. We need to listen to them, which we haven't been doing.
So come down off the hill and get more involved.
Come down off the hill and go and speak to them. I mean, and that's a job I've done for the past 33 years. I mean, you walk into people's house with a letter, and they'll all say, hello, John, have you heard about this, have you heard about that? You're speaking to them on a daily basis, and that has been my job for the past 33 years. I mean, it is a communication job, like, you know, it's, and I enjoy speaking to people anyway, and I'd much rather do that, you know, than...
And what are your, again, just on that constituency level, what are your priorities for Douglas East?
To get involved with the people in Douglas East. I mean, if Douglas East, if I'm successful and there's some events in Douglas East, they need to ring me and get me down there and I'll promote them for them. Any charity needs, any good deeds, I'll be down there to promote Douglas East.
And what about the specific issues? For example, do you support the promenade redevelopment?
I do support the redevelopment. I didn't support in the moving on the trams onto the promenade, but I did vote for it in the end because it was a compromise that I had to make. And otherwise, if we don't do it, it won't be done. It will not be done. It'll be shelved.
And what about the parking issue? That's in the news at the moment. What's your view on that?
The parking in general in Douglas, not the Keys parking, the general in Douglas, I mean, we did try to build a new car park, but the government wouldn't give us funding to do it when I was in the town hall. We did, and they did a survey, it's another survey they did, and the first thing they identified was they needed a new car park in Douglas, and that's what we wanted to build.
So we need a new car park. What about charges?
The charges for the car parks are, I mean, I'm sorry, the people on the Isle of Man don't like paying for anything, so they certainly, and they want to park right outside the shop or wherever, that's where they want to go, and they don't want to pay a penny for it. They'd rather dash in and out and not pay. Well, unfortunately, it's a fact of life. We have to pay for car parking. Prime parking, you'll have to pay extra for, you know, and we know that the Marks and Spencer's car park is, everybody wants to park in that one because it's right in the middle of Strand Street. And that's the main one, and that's why it's invoked a bigger charge.
And should it be everybody? I mean, members of Tynwald, should they be paying like we do?
I don't mind them paying, no, or me paying if I was in Tynwald. I mean, I used to have a free parking space in the town hall. I didn't agree with it because I only went to the council maybe 4 times a month, and there was a couple of parking space lying for me all the time. But I mean, you have to remember that town councillors are not paid. They do get an allowance, but they're not paid members like Tynwald are and the Keys. So they have to, if they want them to pay, but it's fine by me. But yeah, also you have to remember that Tynwald and the Keys, being a responsible employer, they built a building to accommodate all the staff and not put all the cars out on the street. Every new business that's built in a new building should accommodate their staff. I mean, the HSBC Bank has got staff parking underneath. Barclays Bank has got staff parking behind it. What's the other one? NatWest have got parking underneath. They supply parking for their staff.
Okay. Moving on then. You say that your key priorities are growing the economy, protecting frontline services, smaller, smarter government, and protecting the vulnerable. I mean, these are all things, obviously, that we all want to see happen. How would you achieve it?
Growing the economy, I think, is something that we need to do more work on. I mean, we've had these trips to China. I think that's a very proactive thing to do. I think the biggest problem we have is the steam packet, which I think sometimes brings the economy down. And you know, I know there's bills coming forward with the renewal of the lease for the steam packet. I think that really needs to be looked at. And I think the biggest market that we haven't tapped is right across the sea in front of us is Liverpool. It has to be the most booming city in the northwest of England, and there's nobody from Liverpool coming here. Why aren't they not coming here?
So how do we achieve that then? How do we tap into that?
We need to go and do some marketing and go to Liverpool and try and get some people to come over here. We've got John Moores University over there. We need to be in. We've got an IT centre over here. We want to do some development work with them, bring students over here, or send students over there and work with them, and not at hand's length. We need to work with them. I mean, agricultural things, they can bring them over here. I mean, we've got the ideal space. We've got marine biology. We've got everything over here. They can do research over here, and we can accommodate them.
And in terms of transport then, and the user agreement is coming up for renewal in a few years' time, what would you like to see happen there?
I think if the problem, go back a little bit, the problem with the steam packet is it's not serving the Isle of Man at the moment. It is our nation's lifeline. It's not serving us at the moment. It's serving a pension debt in Portugal somewhere, and that is its main priority at the moment. And if that's going to continue to be its priority, then we need to look at other methods.
Other carriers?
Other methods.
Okay. Protecting the vulnerable.
Yeah, we really need to do it. You know, there's vulnerable people all over East Douglas, and you know, there's not just people living in the poorer houses that are vulnerable. There's people that are in the bigger houses at the other end of the promenade living on their own, and there's nobody that looking after them, and they are vulnerable. They're alone, and we need to work with the charities. Like the Live at Home charity, they have a really, really good response to the Live at Home charity, and the government needs to support charities like that to make sure that the vulnerable are better connected and in touch with other people and the government.
So getting that third sector involvement.
Yeah, the third sector, yes. It's, we need to work with other organisations. The government shouldn't be running anything. It's not within their mandate to run things. They should govern, and that other people, they should delegate.